Bodywork. Sorry about the car noises going by. I am a practicing body worker. I have also received a huge amount of body work in my life, but especially in the last 3 years. And so I like talking about it to people who don't have much experience with body work or less experience. It's sort of like I'm a connoisseur, and then I also have the privilege of being on both sides of it. So I feel like I have a lot of unique insight into various flavors of body work and things I really like and really dislike about different styles and different practitioner approaches and that sort of thing. So something I was talking to a friend about the other day that I realized might make for a good video and Twitter thread, just sort of put out in a wider message, is about people who do a lot of energy stuff and how body work can fit into their life. I don't really want to get into the specifics of what I mean by energy stuff. I'm going to kind of like leave that to the viewer to decide if that applies to you or not. I basically mean people who are like moving a lot of energy through their system all the time, whether that's through really deep emotional work, an energy practice like qigong or something, even sitting meditation. I think those things tend to all go together, and maybe sort of like it's an interest that's developed, or you've just had, your life has happened in such a way that you have to do it. But I think if it applies to you, you'll know what I mean when I say moving, somebody who moves a lot of energy through their system, sort of like goes through a lot of energetic transitions and things. And what I've noticed is that sometimes I think those people don't necessarily feel like they need to get much body work. And I'm kind of differentiating here between energy work and body work. So when I say energy work, I mostly mean not hands-on work. So whether it's with a practitioner who's in the same place as you or a remote practitioner, generally energy work is like not with touch, and not always, but generally in my experience. And with body work, I mean more hands-on work. And in this video, I'm going to kind of mainly point at deeper versions of body work, like massage, versus something with really light touch, like craniosacral tends to be. So yeah, for people who do subtle energetic stuff, whether that's receiving energy work or doing other energy practices and stuff, I think there can be this idea that like body work is too much, or you don't really need it. You're sort of like taken care of by the energy practices and energy work that you do. And yeah, especially if you kind of feel like, yeah, I have everything flowing, I have the channels open, things are flowing, why would I need body work? Maybe it feels like things are being addressed at a deeper level, so like why get body work? And what I was saying to my friend the other day is that I think that for people who are moving, I think for everyone in general, but like especially people who are moving a lot of energy through their system all the time, my sense from my personal experience and people I'm close with who I've worked with a lot is that even when you're doing that like in a really high level kind of expert way, like getting like the best of the best energy work, which I think that I am, I think that I legit think that I have found like some of the best practitioners out there, you know. Maybe that's like a crazy arrogant thing to say, but I've been deep in this world for a couple of years, and I, out of necessity, I've been looking for the best of the best, and I've found some really, really incredible practitioners of this kind of thing. And even with the best energy work, like there is still an amount of there is an amount of like density in the physical body where I think that residue ends up in the tissues, even when the energy work is super clean. So what do I mean by that? Like, what I'm really trying to say, I think, is that our muscles and fascia and other tissues deserve to be taken care of. And I think that bodywork can just be an incredible supplement to energetic practices, as a way of taking care of those tissues and any residue that ends up kind of getting stuck in them with great energy work. This might be obvious to people. A lot of people might already be supplementing this. I think the reason I especially want to talk about it is that you might live in a place where the body workers who are there, even the really skillful ones, don't have a really deep energetic attunement. So it's kind of like you have to choose between energy work and body work, and you're not going to be able to get both. This has been a huge blocker for me over the last couple of years when looking for a body worker. I really needed somebody who could meet me energetically, otherwise it felt like they were going to hurt me. It looks like a broad version of the word hurt. It's like my energy, I was being cracked open in such a way that what was there energetically was very fragile and sensitive, and somebody who really didn't know what they were doing energetically was just gonna fuck that up. And it's really varied by place for me. Like, I've moved around a lot in the last couple of years, and some of the places that I've lived have had these incredible shamanic body worker people who could really like get into the tissues and also really met me energetically. And that is such a fucking blessing. I miss them so much. And where I live now, I just have not found that. I have found people who are really skillful on the physical side of things and can't meet me energetically. And so what I'm trying to say in this video is that sometimes I think it's still worth it to go see those people. Like, simply to take care of my tissues, you know? It's better than no body work for me. And it's kind of taken me a while to realize that. Like, I did default for a while to like, unless they can meet me energetically, I don't want the body work. And it just gets harder and harder the deeper you go into this subtle work to find body workers who will meet you energetically. Like, yeah, trust me, I really feel that, and it's sad. So there's a thing about letting go of the necessity to feel completely seen and met in all these dimensions by the body worker, and just let them take care of you on the level where they can, where their expertise really is, if there's sort of enough stability in the energetic side of things. So like, if your needs are almost entirely, if your felt sense of it is that your needs are almost entirely on the emotional energetic side, then you do need a body worker or healer, energy worker, whatever, who can really meet you there. But if you've, like me, I've been working so deeply in that side of things for the last couple of years, my needs are both. I have a lot of energy body and emotional needs, and I have a lot of physical body needs. My tissues need some work. And I am noticing recently that there is still a lot of value for me, because that body worker doesn't seem to exist where I live who can do all of these things. There is still value for me in going to see a very, very experienced practitioner who can work on my tissues skillfully, even though they can't meet me energetically. And it will limit what we can do in the session, sure, but it's just such nice care for my body, especially because my body just goes through so much all the time, processing things, shifting things, moving things around. So yeah, I just wanted to say that in case that's helpful to anybody else who's on a very deep, subtle body path. The last thing I'll say about it is that there is still like an energy thing that needs to be met by those people. I don't want to get worked on by anybody who has something that's like aggressive or forceful in their energy, or something that's codependent in their energy. And again, I'm gonna kind of like leave that as an exercise to the viewer, because it's hard to describe the signatures of those, especially when they're subtle. But like, my system is very sensitive, and even, yeah, the subtle stuff is like, can be very loud for me when in a vulnerable situation like that where I'm being worked on. And so even if they're very skillful with the physical body side of things, if there is that like codependency or that like subtle forcefulness, it's just, things are gonna armor up for me, and I won't get the benefit. I won't get the physical body benefit as well as the energetic benefit. And so it's like, I need, if I'm not going to be met energetically, I need them to have some level of calm, quiet. I don't mean volume quiet, I mean energetic quiet. Calm, quiet, kindness. And then what's the word for the like non-pushiness? Yeah, like non-attachment to me loving their body work or something. It's just that quality of like them giving an offering of body work, and however it lands, and not needing it to land a certain way for me. Those are sort of the prerequisites that I need for them energetically, if it's just going to be like a really great sort of physical body session. And that like quality of forcefulness or aggression that I'm pointing at, that often I think is not even like a conscious thing on the side of the practitioner. It's just that there's such a difference in the sensitivity levels that to them what they're doing wouldn't seem forceful at all. It's just that because they're in connection with my tissues and my body that have a really high level of sensitivity and have their own way of doing things, there's like this own really intricate personal process that's happening for me internally that has its own intelligence and its own ordering of things and stuff. And so if somebody even subtly is trying to like, no, this shoulder is going to open up, and my body is like, no the fuck it's not, that's not the way I'm doing this, there can be that subtle fight between practitioner and client that they might not even be aware of. To them it just feels like, I really have to work at this shoulder. So yeah, that's the main thing I wanted to say. For energy people, just to sum up, for people who are sort of deep into energetic work, consider receiving body work. Consider even receiving kind of deep body work if your tissues have been through a lot and have a lot of residue that they can shake out. And if possible, find somebody who's great at everything. They have the physical side, they have the energy side. And if that's not available where you are, like it doesn't seem to be for me, yeah, see if you can find somebody who's really great at the physical side of things and has this sort of baseline level of energetic ease that won't be threatening to your system, that your system can work with. And then maybe energetic stuff will end up getting stirred up anyway in the session, and then you can go home and work with that yourself, with all of the expertise and energetic practice that you already know, or maybe a sangha or teacher that you have that you can then bring it to. Yeah, hope it goes well. Let me know if you have any questions or if it was helpful. Bye.